Hey, Anthony Pietrobono here, back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how you can become wealthy in your 30s by starting in your 20s. So we're going to break down what you need to start doing now in your 20s, early 20s, if you are there, to set you up for success to become a millionaire in your 30s. Okay, so let's say you are in your early 20s. You might be 21, 22, just finished school, don't have a lot of money right now, but you're looking to save money because you know you need to save money to set yourself up for success. So you go ahead and invest the difference, because remember, we know the only thing that matters is how much money you have left after you've gone through your expenses, because that is the amount we're going to be investing. We're going to be investing the difference between income and expenses. Whatever's there, we're investing that. So our goal is to widen that gap. We either focus on increasing income or focus on decreasing expenses. If our expenses are already relatively low, you know we're focusing on increasing income. How do we increase income? We get new skills. In today's video, we're going to show you how you can become a millionaire in your 30s while starting in your early 20s. First thing we need to do is budget. We need to know how much money is going to be going out each month so we can now get a good estimate of how much money we're able to invest each month. This is what you should be potentially doing if you're looking to build wealth in your 20s and 30s and beyond. So we're going to go over our frugal scenario here. Let's say we're just moved out. We're 21, 22, 23, maybe 24, paying rent $1,000 a month. This is our nice frugal scenario. Food, $350 a month, $150 a month for supplements. We got a cheap gym membership. Our phone bill is $80 a month. We got car insurance at $150 a month. Gas is costing us $100 a month. Audible for some books we're learning, it's $12 a month. We get a haircut, $30 each time, and we have $300 set aside for fun or other activities. That could be going out with friends, drinking, whatever you like to do. $300 a month on the side. This totals roughly $2,200 each month. Now, if we are earning $3,500 after tax, that means we have $1,300 to invest. When you take away the $2,200 from the $3,500, there is now $1,300 we can invest each month. However, if our income is $8,000 a month after tax, well, look at the difference there. We can now invest technically $5,800. So what we're going to do with these numbers is we're going to put these numbers into an investing calculator with a projected rate of return that we're going for and see how our money will grow with these two different income levels while making sure we keep our expenses this low for a span of 10 years. We come to the investment calculator. We're going to assume we're starting with $0. We're in our early 20s. We don't have any money to invest right now. Cash is low. We're going to put the time to 10 years, bringing us into our early 30s if we're in our early 20s. We're going for a 15% annual rate of return. Remember, I showed examples in the past of how we could achieve a 19%. There's examples of 20% returns annually over each year over a 5-year period. If you don't like using this number and you think you're not going to get that great of returns, use a lower number. So with 15%, we're going to be contributing $1,300 a month in the first example. What does that look like over a 10-year span? Well, by the end of that 10-year span, our ending balance is $337,000. We've contributed $156,000 of our own money, and we gained $181,000 in interest. The question now becomes, what if we're earning that $8,000 a month after tax with our income, and we keep our expenses low? Remember, that's the key. We don't want to let lifestyle inflation creep up too high, because that's going to make sure we don't have enough money to invest anyways. We said it came out to $5,800 a month we could end up investing in. Well, over a 10-year period, we could keep our expenses low, be very frugal, commit to a 10-year period of frugality while focusing on increasing our income. And we could invest that, get up to $1.5 million, contributing $696,000 and getting $800,000 in interest over that 10-year span. This is so powerful because our goal should be to save as much as we can, as early as we can, so that way later on we can enjoy life, spend more money, and have our massive nest egg continuing to work for us. Because here's the power. I made a video called The Power of Dollar by Age. I highly suggest you go ahead and watch that. I'll try to link it in the YouTube cards there, so you go ahead and see that. If you watch that video, you're going to understand why we need to save as much as we can in our 20s and 30s, and then we don't have to worry about saving anymore, because we're going to let our dollars work for us as the years go by. And I'm going to show you how that works. if we're in this example, we got to the 1.5 million and we decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to splurge. And we go back to this example here and we decide to graduate to the expensive scenario where we're no longer frugal and we're in our early 30s. We now spend $2,000 a month on a rent or a mortgage if we decide to buy a house, $500 on food, $250 on supplements, $80 on a gym membership, $80 on the phone bill, $250 on car insurance, $1,500 a month on a nice Jaguar F-Type R, $150 a month in gas, $12 on the Audible, $50 on the haircut, $500 extra a month on fun or other. This brings our total to $5,372, and we're continuing to, let's say, earn that $8,000 a month after tax. However, we shouldn't, because we're always striving to progress. So we should assume and we should strive to learn new skills to be increasing that income over the 10-year span. But let's go ahead and use the conservative number here and say we have the same income, earning the $8,000 a month after tax. Well, now we're only able to save and invest $2,600 each month. So we go back to our scenario. We're now living the good life. We're spending far more money. It's not frugal by any means. And we're in our early 30s. We're enjoying life by spending far more. And we're still able to save and invest the $2,600 a month. But we now have 1.5 million as a nest egg that is going to continue to work for us. What do the next 10 years bring from early 30s to early 40s while not living frugal anymore? Well, we get to 6.7 million. Now, at this stage, we could inflate our lifestyle even more, and we could say, I'm not going to save any more money. I'm just going to keep a nice cash as nest egg of, let's say, 100,000, 50,000, and then spend all of my income on my lifestyle in my early 40s, spend all 8,000 a month on my lifestyle. You could do that. You could contribute no more, $0, continue that for another 10 years. And now, instead of being in your early 40s, you're going to be in your early 50s, and you've got the 6.7 million invested, and that turns into 27 million by early 50s if you continue to invest, and we are assuming the same rate of return annually at 15%. Now, I just broke down the whole process of how you could go from being frugal in your 20s to being wealthy in your 30s, and then allowing some level of lifestyle inflation while still saving some money and continuing to invest in your early 30s, bringing you to your early 40s where you have a good $6-7 million, and then you go ahead and you fully inflate your lifestyle, spending all $8,000 a month, and you now let your investments continue to grow from your early 40s to your early 50s, and you now have $27 million. Now, remember, we were going to pay tax and all this, so we would lose multiple millions, but you would still have 20 million, let's say, by your early 50s. And this scenario doesn't show that you have to earn a crazy amount of money whatsoever. Do you have to have more than $100,000 a year income? No. You could go from early 20s to early 50s and have $20 million without getting extraordinary returns on your investments and without living completely frugal the entire time and without having an absurdly high income. Now, if we're unsure that we can achieve a 15% annual return, then we're going to take a look at some stocks here to make sure that we feel more confident in our own abilities. We take a look at Apple and we go ahead and look back on the last 10 years. If we invested in Apple 10 years ago, what we're going to see is the stock was trading at $37 and it is now at $440, I believe. In the last 10 years, we saw an 11 to 12x on the stock price. If you see that a stock has done a 10x in the last 10 years, come to the investment calculator, put the starting stock price. Remember 10 years ago, it said Apple was $37. It was a 10-year span. So after 10 years, we're going to find the return rate that brings us to the end balance of this current stock price today. So the current stock price is $440 a share. We're going to play around with the return rate each year until we see that 440. So basically what we're seeing is 28.5% likely. 28% we're going to go with. If you invested in Apple 10 years ago and you just did a buy and hold long term, didn't touch it, you would see an average annualized return of 28% each year over the last 10 years. If we take a look at Amazon, 10 years ago it traded at $128 and today it's sitting at $3,138. So we put the starting price of $128 and we're looking for $3,138. We're going to see what the return brings on that. If you invested in Amazon 10 years ago, we would see 37.5%. More than that, close to 38%. But let's just say on the safe side, 37.5%. So you would see a 37.5% average annualized return every single year for 10 years. That is a mighty impressive rate of return. Now, if we take a look at Tesla, 10 years ago, it traded at $21.50, and today, $14.87. So we put in $21.50. If you invested in Tesla 10 years ago, you would have gotten an average rate of return of 52.5% each year over the last 10 years. There's 3 incredible examples of outstanding returns that are far greater than the 15% I just shared. And if we look at my last video on the 3 ETFs, we showed one example of 12% averaged each year. We showed one example of 19% each year and one example in the 20% each year. And that was in a diversified ETF, not a single stock. I hope you now understand that you can achieve greater than 15% returns each year. My personal goal is aiming for the 25 to 30%, but I'm okay and still proud of achieving 20% a year. Those are my standards. Those should be your standards as well. Just before we wrap up this video, we're gonna do a fun pie in the sky scenario for you to see the potential of just how great and how massive you could grow your wealth. Let's say you're 22 years old right now and you have no money to invest. We're going to be getting an average of 25% each year. That's lower than the Apple scenario, lower than the Amazon scenario, lower than the Tesla scenario, lower than the ARK Invest Innovation ETF scenario that I said. So it's still not even something absurd, but we're going to be using this number. And we're going to be contributing $4,000 a month. You know, we're not contributing that crazy $5,000 because maybe your income's a little bit less. So we're contributing $4,000 a month. That's $1,000 a week. That's personally how much I save. In 10 years, you would get to 1.7 million by 32. Then you could continue that for another 10 years. So that would bring us to 20 years and you could stay relatively frugal. But let's say you don't save as much. You're in your early 30s, you want to enjoy your life a little more. We're going to say that you are now going to be 32, same rate of return, but now you're just contributing $2,000 a month. You would get to 17 million by 42. So now we're 42 and we say, you know what, we're going to spend all of our income. We're not going to save anymore and we're just going to keep it going. So we now have 17.385 million. And what we're going to do is go from 42 to 52. This is going to bring us to $162 million by 52 without saving any more from 40 to 50. That's just letting the investments grow. And now we're going to pull it out when we are 65. So we're going to go for another 12 years. So we're going to put in the 162 million and we're going to go to 65 from 52. So that's 13 years, not contributing anymore. That's going to bring us to $2.9 billion by the time we are 65 without saving any dollars from 42 to 65, just letting the investments grow, keeping an eye on the investments, making sure we're getting great returns annually. Then you would get taxed on that and you would lose a good billion. But now you got 2 billion. Anyways, that last scenario was for fun. I hope you see what you could achieve in your future. My goal is to open your eyes to see what kind of wealth is possible for you to achieve. And I want to help you grow your wealth over time. So if you're interested in growing your wealth over time, you're going to want to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos as I post a few videos each week helping you grow your wealth. Stay tuned for more portfolio updates. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.